Everybody, we need to live together. This would make the world a better place, you see. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world has changed so very much from what it used to be. There is so much hatred, war and poverty. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Wake up all you teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who is coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better.
Good morning, everyone. It's a wonderful day in Barbados today. A great day. What a wonderful day. The Lord is smiling on us. The sun is shining, and we are standing up for righteousness, our righteous cause. What a great day. God is good. God is good. Now we're going to be moving off in about 3 minutes or thereabouts, so just to get yourself in order, and you have to put the remaining of the platters on the truck, and we'll be moving off. We're going to ask Miss Joel King to come and say a prayer for us, for God's safety and protection and will to be done.
Heavenly Father, we worship you. We love you, we adore you. We ask, Father God, for you to go before us. Take us to our destination of peace and safety. We ask you to bless all that are here this morning. Bless those who have committed to stand for righteousness, Father God. We just commit everything to your hands and ask you to lead, guide, and direct our path and protect us all. Not only when we are here, Father God, but that you protect us in our homes, our workplaces, wherever we go, Father God. Your guardian angels will just over us, Father God. We ask you to draw that line around us in the name of Jesus as we stand for righteousness, Father God. We know that you are about justice, Lord. We know that you are about the poor and those who are disadvantaged. And we are just committing all of these things that we are standing for into your hands and asking you to take full and complete control in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. We thank you. In Jesus' name.
Opposition! Calling aye. We are about to make a statement.
Remind them to stay a distance behind the truck, not to get too close behind the truck.
Right. We are about to make a statement, and do not think that you are not being heard. There's so much confusion going on with this. These two little folks. These two little folks that is marched when Zahari comes. Got the courage and fireman. You know, a couple, you know what to say, what to do. So keep on marching, keep on speaking your voices and your feet. You're speaking loud. In a few minutes you will move off. And don't forget, you're going to stay a safe distance away from the truck. It's for your safety. And we're going to also keep off the sidewalk. And we're going to walk in an orderly manner on the road. Those who are wearing these scarves will be your marshals today, and we'll have a few helpers as well, just to make sure that everything is in order, so that the police will look at us and smile at us and say, what an orderly bunch of people. There's no disorder in this bunch at all. No matter what people say, in a few moments.
Love you, man. Love you. Let me march. Barbados!
We are actually waiting on the police, so as soon as they give us the okay, we'll start.
One by one, brick by brick, they crumble and fall. At the voice of the Almighty, and the trumpet call. Lies and corruption, and this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. nation. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. Lies and corruption, this administration. Lies and corruption, beer abomination. Lies and corruption, poverty and frustration. Lies and corruption, mashing up the nation. Vaccines can't left in memory. Trident ID won't be mandatory.
Okay, permission has been granted. So opposition, fall in line. As soon as you trample, then you can go ahead.
Let we march, let we march, let we march. Barbados!
Time for people get up and make a bargain.
Time to wake
Now
up.
them come from country and town. Kick down Jericho wall.
Opposition fall in line.
Politicians run and ball. One by one, brick by brick, they crumble and fall. At the voice of the Almighty. And the trumpet.
Everybody, we need each other. Everybody, we need to live together. This would make the world a better place, you see. Wake up, everybody, no more sleeping in bed. No more backward thinking, time for thinking ahead. The world
Survive, my sisters, our freedom is.
there is so much hatred. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Wake up, all you teachers, time to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what you have to say. They're the ones who is coming up, and the world is in their hands. When you teach the children, teach them the very best you can. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Na 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 na. The world won't get no better. You gotta change your ways, you and me. Wake up, all of you doctors has made the whole people well. They're the ones who suffer and catch on a hill. They don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away? Wake up all you builders, got to build a new land. And I know we can do it if we all lend our hand. The only thing we'll have to do is put it in our minds. Surely things will work out. We'll do it every time. The world won't get no better if we just let it be. Now. The world won't get no better. You gotta change your ways, you and me. Wake up, everybody, we need each other. Wake up, everybody, we need each other. I said we need some help, y'all. Can't do it alone. I said we need each other. False preacher, stop preaching what you did. You politician, stop lying. You businessman, what? Stop cheating. Wake up, everybody. No more sleeping in bed. No more backwards.
I want everybody to get this message. Too late shall be your cry. Too late shall be your cry. You took me for a fool, no, darling. Took me for a ride, yeah, baby. Too late shall be your cry. Too late shall be your cry. Too late shall be your cry. You took me for a fool, no, darling. Took me for a ride, yeah, baby. Too late shall be your cry. Too late shall be your cry. Too late shall be your cry. You took me for a fool, no, darling. Took me for a ride, yeah, baby. Too late shall be your cry. Too late shall be your cry. Too late shall be your cry. You took me for a fool, no, darling. Took me for a ride, yeah, baby. Too late shall be your cry.
All over the world, lift up chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. Hey, all I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me, for I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm working in power, I work in miracles, I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. I'm working in power, I work in miracles, I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. Hey. Hey. We are a chosen generation. We've been called for to show His excellence. Yeah. All I require for life, God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation. Come, we've been called for to show His excellence. All I require for life, God has given me. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, I walk in miracles, I live a life of life. For I know who I am. Say, I'm walking in power, I walk in miracles, I live a life of favor. For I know who I am. Everybody shout I know who I am. Lift your voice, shout I know who I am. Wave your hands, shout I know who I am. What are you? I am holy. Come on. I am.
Grand rising, my loyal opposition. Grand rising. Yes, I love the city family out. Saturday morning, we back out here. Regardless of how they try to intimidate, regardless of what they try, all the threats, or everything they try to throw at us, we still here. We still here. That's right. We ain't got no fear. We don't have no fear. Who we fear? Who we fear? Who we fear? That's right. God and God alone. That's it. Not me, not government, not world health, we don't fear no man on this planet Earth. No man. That's right. So listen, I feel so good to be here this morning. Feel so good to be amongst my loyal opposition. And listen, let me tell you something, a secret. Let me tell you a secret. We winning. We winning. And they can't stop it. We winning. Right? You know we winning, right? All right then. That's what I like to feel. I like this energy this morning. This energy feel a little different. This energy feeling like the people feeling free. This feel like the people feeling free. And I love this energy. Listen, you see Marcia Cattle, I believe that's her name. She came out the other day and with the crime bill, and I guess they said that they accepted certain parts, but we haven't seen it actually fully come into fruition. They haven't actually said, well, this is the changes being made. So we ain't just going on promises. We're not going on promises. Take that out. You gonna take it out. If not, you gonna see us every Saturday. You gonna see us, right? Yeah, family. And listen, I want y'all to feel proud of yourself. I want y'all to feel proud of yourself. I know a lot of people was telling y'all we all doing that for. We all gonna down there for that. Marching ain't gonna do nothing. That's what we doing it for. But we see that with every march, regardless of the size, with every march, it makes an impact. It makes them think. It makes them draw back. It makes them study themselves. Right? So listen, we doing a great job. We are doing a great job. That's a pleasure to do. Yeah.
We no friend so easy.
That's right.
And when you're rolling with me and without no steering wheel, me represent the Gaza. We no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. Never scare, never scare, never scare, never scare, never scare. Me born in Ghana road. Me rock white and them no shot a bone. Me no left my mongrel dog a yard. If I want you a defend bamba phone. Crew from flank and no take talk. So go and flip up like chlorophone. Ring and no farmer use can alone. Salt spring shoot star like Karl Malone. One night we no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. Never scare, never scare, never scare, never scare, never scare. Where you come from, in your beer. Big matter right now, right here. Brother survey, you be here. Me no be up and bust you hold me now here. When you see Gaza approach me here, don't take shit from the apple tree here. You can't miss the flow where you appear. Even if you miss a mango, you must disappear. Hey! We no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. Never scare, never scare, never scare, never scare, never scare. Me born alone. Me rock white and them no shot a bone. Me no left my mongrel dog a yard. If I want you a defend one back home. Crew from flank and no take talk. So go and flip up like chlorophone. Ring and no farmer use can alone. Salt spring shoot star like Karl Malone. One night we no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. No afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody. We no afraid of nobody.
Me a take the bottle let me down. Me a take the bottle let me down. She the only one let me breathe. Big contracts and no corruption. Me a take the bottle let me down. Me a take the bottle let me down. Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me a take the bottle let me down. Me a take the bottle let me down. She the only one let me breathe. Big contracts and no corruption. Me a take the bottle let me down. Me a take the bottle let me down. Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me a take the bottle let me down. Me a take the bottle let me down. She the only one let to be there. Big contracts and no corruption. Me a take the bottle let me down. Me a take the bottle let me down.
I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. Good at maths nor English. English, 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 English. Pretending to be good. I pretending to be good, good, good. Just pretending to be good. I pretending to be good, good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 Pretending. we do that not smart, we go straight up to going to careful people. I like the thing, we do that not smart, we go straight up to going to careful people. I like the thing, we do that not smart, we go straight up to going to careful people.
Come over the houses and more. Come on the right. Don't stand at home and watching me on TV. Come on,
Yeah, she
come on.
pretending to
For
care.
your right. For
Yeah,
your
that was
children
her
and
voice.
grandchildren.
That wasn't no
Can I
trick.
get love up?
That was her voice telling you she just pretended. Right? So I just got a little message that was telling me that we ain't satisfied with that bill, period. You know, that little token that she tried to throw out there, Marsha Callow tried to go out there. A lot of people feel as if she just playing with us. Like she just playing with us, toying with us. So we gonna show her that we ain't pretending. We ain't pretending. We for real. And we gonna make sure that she don't have a job soon. We gonna make sure, the people gonna make sure that she don't have a job real soon. Am I correct? All right then. Cause she think that we working for she. I mean, that's the way it sounds. You hear the way these people is talk, like they're talking dumb to us. These same people that every 5 years come to your house and beg you for a vote. When they get in there, you see how they talk to us? Like we children. So we gonna show them that we's adults. And we gonna show them how adults play the game. We ain't accepting what you tell we. We don't care what we tell we. And you work for we. Mia work for we. And if we want to get rid of Mia, we could fire Mia too. Because that we can do it. These people just think that they're so mighty and they're so strong. And because they got a few Europeans and all them backing them, they feel that they're strong and they can talk to us and tell us anything. But we gonna show them that, listen, when you talk to us, you gonna talk to us with respect. And you gotta act as if we are, you got to know that we intelligent. And you can't tell us anything and we gonna just sign on the dotted line. You can't just do that. We, as a matter of fact, we don't, as what the sister was just telling me, we don't want that bill the way it is, period. We don't want it. So don't come to us with no foolishness. Don't come to us and act like you throwing us a little bone and we supposed to say, okay, she gonna make the changes. Nah, you gonna make the changes or you gonna get out of office. You gonna make those changes or you are going out of office. All of them, all 30 of them. That's right. Go ahead, bro. Hey, then. Yeah, family, you hear the names they calling us on the radio? They're saying that we are terrorists. And they ain't even, if this is terrorism, then I don't think they really want to see what real terrorism is. Because this is the most peaceful form of terrorism I ever seen. Seriously. So they're calling us terrorists. They say that anarchists. They say we anarchists. And the police walking with us and they're saying we anarchists. Ragtag. They say we ragtag. Listen, but we love all them names. Because you know why? You know why we love all them names? Because we get into them. They would not call us those names if they wasn't having sleepless nights. They are having sleepless nights, I'm telling you. So they're trying to come out and talk about we terrorists, but believe me, they see what's going on in the world and they know that we are far from being terrorists. They know that. Yeah, so I say, so keep doing what you're doing. We're going to do it peacefully, but we're going to do it. We are going, and if you don't even try to stop us from doing it peacefully. Don't even try to stop us from doing it peacefully. His Majesty always says, seek peace before you resort to war. And we are seeking all peaceful means. I'm seeing this loyal opposition seeking all peaceful means. And every step of the way, they're trying to stop it. And we're just being peaceful. We're just asking questions. And they don't even want us to ask questions. They want to silence us. They want to silence just for asking questions. Men told us that we are adults and we should be able to talk to BLP or DLP without feeling threatened in any way. And I just hear that lady on the radio threatening us. I just hear them threatening us. You know what it's like to call somebody a terrorist? No, seriously, or call somebody, you know, when you are anarchists, they're watching TV. I know what's going on, you know, they're watching TV, and them words sound so good, they say, we're going to try this here. We're going to call them terrorists. But I'm telling you, families, keep doing what you're doing. Don't pay attention to what you hear them saying. Don't get afraid. But that's what that is frightened tactics. Those are tactics that they're using to try to get us to not come out on Saturdays, right? So, but the more they try to threaten us, the more we coming out. We're going to show them that we are not what? We're going to show them that we are not afraid, and we're going to do it every Saturday and show them. They got the drones out. So big up the drones, so. Who knows, me, it might be one of them. But yeah, but listen, but we're going to continue to do it. I love you people, I love it. I love it. Keep up the resistance.
Don't give it up, don't give it up. Just live it up, just live it up. Just live it up, don't give it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Oh no. Get up, stand up. Don't give it up. Stand up for your rights, yeah. Get up, stand up.
sister. Let me welcome our sister Felicia Dujon. Welcome her. That's right.
Yes, greetings, brothers and sisters. Greetings, good morning, brothers and sisters. They didn't expect us to come out this morning, but we are here this morning. And I heard our brother here speak that we are not afraid. I think we need to change that and say they are afraid. They are afraid. They are afraid that we will start telling them that they need to speak the truth. They need to tell us the truth. And that we will not back down. And every Saturday we will be here. And we will walk by the Almighty God to allow us to be here every Saturday. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, no matter how hard they try to deter us, we have to hold on strong. This is not a fight for the fainted hearts. I have said that many times. If we do not push forward, they will think that we are the weak. But we have to remind them that we are children of God, and we did not come here to play games. And if they are coming to play games, we're not about that. And we are here to remind them that when we send them in Parliament, we expect them to work on our behalf. We expect them to work on our behalf and not behalf of themselves, their friends, and whoever associates that they have. Brothers and sisters, this is why the loyal opposition is very important. Because that's the only time we get to say and speak the truth at all times and speak on behalf of all Barbadians. Brothers and sisters, what they are attempting to do will not work. We have told them that before. Y'all are wasting your time. The people are now awake. The people are now awake. So you cannot come and fool us anymore. You cannot come and pretend that we do not understand the language of what is happening in Parliament. We understand the legality. We understand the immorality. We understand the illegality and the unconstitutional things that you have been doing. And when we recognize it, we're going to call unto you and hold you account. We will hold you account. It doesn't matter if it takes 20 years. We will hold you account. Because our responsibility is to be here for all generations. This generation is not about us alone, brothers and sisters. This walk, this march, our voices is not for today. This is for history. This is for our children. This is for the future of Barbados. This is for the future of our generations to come. So we're not coming here to play games. Even if they tell us that we do not have big numbers. Even though, let me tell you something, brothers and sisters. This morning when I said I was coming here, I said, God, please allow me to say what I need to say. Please allow me to get in trouble because I need to get in trouble. I need to create some trouble because the reality is that they are doing things that violate our human rights. Not only our constitution right, our human rights. This is a right that God has given to us. So who are you as a human being to come and take those rights from us? You're in no position to do that. And those ministers that facilitate and encourage that kind of behavior, your judgment will come as well. Your judgment will come as well. Because the day that election is called, trust me, we're going to be there. We're not going anywhere. Your time is limited. So brothers and sisters, do not allow them to think that we do not know what we're doing. Do not allow them to make us think that we do not understand the different bills they're trying to pass in Parliament. Do not allow them to make us think that we have not read the various documents in Parliament. We understand those bills. We understand what you're trying and attempting to do. This is why we're stopping you from doing it. This is why we're telling people And we advocating. And we will be there every Saturday. We will be wherever we need to be to tell the people the truth. Because you are trying to take the rights of people under the disguise of good governance. But how could that be good governance when you are infringing on the rights, the basic rights of citizens? And then you are trying to tell us that we can't read the bill. Who are you fooling? We can't read? And even if we can't read, I surely have somebody that can read it for us. We will not be distracted. We told you that we wanted you to amend that bill, and you come in and changing a few lines and sentences and putting a few commas and full stops. You think we're foolish? Huh? You think we don't understand what is going on and what you're attempting to do? Brothers and sisters, let me talk quickly about the child protection bill. Brothers and sisters, they may make us feel that we have lost this battle. But any battle that God puts us to win, we will not lose it. Any battle that God puts us to fight, we will not lose that battle. They will come on the television, they will come in parliament and try to appeal to your emotions and tell you, oh, well, there's a lot of sexual abuses happening to children in school. You didn't know that was happening all this time? You didn't know? You didn't know that you were hiring all these pedophiles in our schools? Didn't you know? Didn't you speak to the Attorney General and tell him to fix the Sexual Offences Act that they removed? Didn't you know? Didn't you know? Didn't you speak to your colleagues and let them know what is happening with those bills? But then you're going to come back with the same child protection bill. Not much has changed on the bill, brothers and sisters. They're trying to make us feel that they've made great changes. They haven't made much changes. So I'm appealing to all parents, watch your business. Keep an eye on your business. They're coming to take your parental rights, and we've been telling you that. They're trying all different ways to do it. Your rights as a parent has been diminished by those bills, and they put it under the disguise that we have a high increase of sexual violences. Sexual violences have been there, but you have not amended any of the other bills. You have not amended the sexual offences bill. Why haven't you done that? Why are you trying to prosecute parents? Why are you trying to criminalize your citizens? Every bill, brothers and sisters, every bill this government has passed is really to criminalize you, to make you a criminal, so that you have to think twice before you speak against them. The charges and the penalties and the sanctions in effect makes you a criminal. But my brothers and sisters, if you look very closely at what they're doing, you know that while they're trying to criminalize you, who are the real criminals? Who are the real criminals trying to infringe on the rights, the basic rights of citizens? Brothers and sisters, we will not be deterred. We have to remain vigilant. And I think I told you that a few years ago. I told you to keep your eyes on them. These persons work in the dark. They don't work in the light. Because it's only when it comes to light is when we know what is happening. They do their things in the dark. And by the time it comes to us, they have to take it back because they know that we don't stand for that kind of nonsense. We don't stand for that kind of foolishness. We are citizens of this country, and you will respect our rights whether you like it or not. Brothers and sisters, we have to take these things real serious. We have to take it serious because every citizen here has that right that they cannot take from you. They may threaten you with all these sanctions. They may threaten you that you cannot speak. My brothers and sisters, a basic right, like the right to speech, how dare you want to take that from us? Half of the things that you say to us, we don't even want to hear you. But then you don't want to hear us. You want to silence us because what? We speak the truth? But we're supposed to hear you? We're supposed to listen to the things that you're telling us, where we know that the things that you tell us are ungodly and untrue. Why should we listen to those things, brothers and sisters? We have to remain strong, my brothers and sisters. If we do not remain strong, they will capsize this country, brothers and sisters. It will become a place that we do not recognize because they will change laws when they feel like. And then they will turn around and say, it's our fault that we didn't say anything about it. Because they like to blame citizens for every harm that they create. It is our fault that they created a cybercrime bill, that they did not take the time to review and bring it into Parliament. So brothers and sisters, we have to remain strong. We have to ensure that they do not think that we are afraid of them. We do not have to let them think that because we're small in numbers, that they're bigger than us. Brothers and sisters, ain't no man bigger than God. Ain't no man bigger than God. And let me tell you, when God say no, and no man can say yes. So let them know that when they try to take the rights that God gave us, He will tell them no. He will put a stop to it, and He will let them know that this is the last governments you will have. Because you do not know how to treat your citizens. You do not know how to respect them. You do not know how to tell them, be respectful of your own citizens. How can you treat your own citizen with such disdain? How can you treat your citizens in that kind of callous behavior and expect people to want to be a good citizen? We are good, law-abiding citizens. Do not criminalize us, and we will stand firm until judgment. Thank you, brothers and sisters.
Yes, yeah. Give it up, Alicia. Give it up. I love to see many women stand up and speak out. Yeah, and then we have a brethren now coming in. Edwin. Morning to everyone, all my Barbadian people and Caribbean people, because all of you are one. Caribbean people together. And through being Caribbean people and we unite, all of us can be much stronger in this region than what we are now. Small countries fighting among each other, trying to make it in this big world with all of these players, all these international players putting pressure on us. Big up to my people hustling, selling all the veggies on the side of the street. I can speak to you all in Bajan terms. I don't want all these big words. That big word is got Barbadians confused. They're doing the parliament regular. I asked some of my friends if they know about this bill, this cybersecurity bill. They say, what? What is that? And I'm not an old guy. What is that? I know about that. Politicians going through back ages had the trust in Barbadians. In terms of people believe that when they go to Parliament, they're going to act on our behalf. So anything they do is going to be well done. And that, I must say, was done through previous administrations. But this one is filtering through so much in Parliament that the average Barbadian can't keep up. And they're doing it so fast in one day that the next day you wake up and the law is passed. The Cybercrime bill is a nuisance to Barbados. My man here doing the hustle, he wants some help too. But this cybersecurity bill gonna put most Barbadians on all, even the little small who's about 11, 12 going on their cell phone or tablet sending messages could be incriminated. Does the average Barbadian knows what this cybercrime bill is about? It has some harsh measures in there for us. You send an email to your friend about something that happened down the street anybody that happen to say that they're in pain, they have anxiety through this email which was sent, and your friend could just like that be incarcerated. And I know what Barbadians like to get a visa to get these states, and I know once that is on your character, you will be staying. Don't think about going in, I've been really talking about you want a visa. You understand what he's saying? That's how slick this thing could be. It's devious to Barbadians. I know people out there saying, oh, this is a DLP campaign and all that. I ain't a BLP or DLP. I'm a Barbadian. All this foolishness about BLP, DLP, and the D's eating the B's and the B's eating the D's. I'm sick of it. I am totally sick. The average Barbadians who went to school under Arrow, Walton Borough, free education, cannot take for themselves, but they take it for a red shirt, a yellow shirt, NDP, FDP. Come on, Barbadians. We can't take for ourselves. We went to school, and then we can look at youngsters and say, well, they ain't got no brain. But they're sending them to school too, so if your parents ain't got no brain, they ain't got none. Come on. Take for yourself. If you can sit down in a barber shop or run shop, talking about this girl and this boy, you went on a cruise, and you can get an average Barbadian go in there and discuss the bill with you. You hear what Barbadians say? Don't worry about that. Come on, this is time for our future. I have two little ones who have to live here. And they won't like to see that they're going to send an email or send us a text message that I say a police come knocking at my door saying, listen, I want to get in here, I want to check you still this laptop. A message was saying here through the IP address that from this name, very check out, is my 13-year-old son. And the thing is about this bill that police have the right to come into your home without a search warrant and confiscate your laptop. We don't understand what's going on. Not only confiscate your laptop, but you're going to get in the password too, now you can get fined. They ain't telling you these things. $2,500 if you don't comply. We're giving the people the password to your laptop, cell phone. You've got to comply with the law. They just must understand. We don't know what's that you go on cell phone that you think is your personal cell phone, and you scan off a test and then you're knocking at your door. Hello, Officer Jones over here. I have a message that you said about the government and from this IP address. They need to come in there. Crack open the door, go on in there. Where's the cell phone? Get the cell phone. Mom, I would like to get the code for this part. No, I can't do that. You're in trouble from there. Come on, people, be wise. The cybercrime bill must be stopped. Nobody is saying that the government actual pedophiles go here attacking your people. It happens all over the world. But the laws were already amended for that. Strengthen the laws that will take that times going on to accommodate these pedophiles. Or not, the cyber bill too, in case of internet, that was already there and that could be strengthened as well. You don't need to talk about the water everybody's computer foolishness, but we heard, I'm angry, I got pain, I got anxiety, my back hurting me, and my boyfriend saying no about me. And then you get in Parliament talking about, oh, a bad email was sent from a boyfriend or girlfriend, these things can't be allowed, but it's not alright for that. The part is about silencing Barbadians from talking. You know what's going through a country? I'm in a China, they keep it real. We're in a China that we walking down the road and everybody gonna hang down like zombies and cancer and we need to talk. Talking is knowledge and communication. Even animals is bark at one another saying a dog. And that is communicating with each other. Most people that we can't communicate with one another inside. And then I can finish it off with this. 20 more get in Parliament talking about anarchy and all kind of unrest. I protecting, I can't even find the word. Let me laugh. I am protecting this Barbadian society. But I don't understand how she protected the Barbadian society. Maybe she is a trade unionist, and trade unionists all over the world be marching. That is just contradicting to what I'm saying. The democracy, that's the word I say. She's looking for saying that she trying to protect democracy, the government in general. This thing needs to stop.
Protect the workers.
All right, somebody ain't no telling me protect the workers. Workers get fired every day up in the National Insurance Building for justice and nothing they can do. We need to stop this at once.
And then you're going to hand it over to my colleague now. But before I go, I can tell all the Barbadians around me. Do y'all remember Martin Luther King? Yeah. Rosie Parks? Yeah. Malcolm X? Yeah. They used to go against what they see was injustice. This is injustice to the people. So none of the people you tell you about, oh, marching is not constitutional, and we must protect the Barbadian people from this all behavior. Come on, guys. Be free, be strong, and all my sisters and brothers out there hustling, big up to you all, because you know you got children and things to support. Big up to you all. Keep hustling. Don't let them come down here and tell me to move because the cricket World Cup. But they want people to think that we don't got the money in markets and stuff like that. Big up to my people. More love.
It's about sending a message that the people of Barbados will not allow anybody, neither Barbados Labour Party, Democratic Labour Party, private sector to intimidate it. Not ever again. You have been raised to think for yourself, and you have the right to speak out, and you have the right to speak out without somebody trying to unfair you in this country. You have the right to speak out, and you have the right to speak out without somebody trying to unfair you in this country. So today is equally about reclaiming for Barbadians the right to express themselves in an environment where fear is removed. We do not believe that the removal of a commissioner of police or the charging of a reverend for saying this is the worst government, or threatening businessmen with contracts, or threatening people with jobs. This cannot continue in the Barbados of the 21st century. And if ever the time comes that you give us the confidence to lead you, we too must ensure that we never rule a government to unfair or to cause fear in this country. This is the solemn promise of the Barbados Labour Party today.
Pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. Good at maths nor English. English. Pretending to be good. I pretending to be good. Pretending to be good. I pretending to be good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 Pretending. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I'm just pretending to care for people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I'm just pretending to care for people. I'm pretending to be good. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I'm just pretending to care for people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just.
Good morning, everybody. Once again, I feel compelled to explain in simple terms what is going on with the Cybercrime bill. We have heard the Minister Marshall Carroll come out and say that she is going to remove some words from the Cybercrime bill. Let us talk about Section 20 again. She is going to remove the words, for example, annoyance and inconvenience. But the words embarrassment, anxiety, humiliation, and emotional distress are left in. When I saw that article in the newspaper, I felt disrespected. I felt that after all the substantive submissions to the Joint Select Committee on all the things that are wrong with this Cybercrime bill, that to come to big people, as my grandmother would say, and say you're going to remove a couple of words, that is disrespectful. So we can still be fined $70,000. We can still go to jail for 7 years if we post something on Facebook that is deemed to humiliate people. that is deemed to create anxiety and embarrassment to people. So we are not satisfied. Let us go to section 19. She has removed the words contempt and ridicule, but embarrassment is still in there. Do you know that the Bar Association has made a submission to the Joint Select Committee on this cybercrime bill, and they are saying that it is in danger of violating our constitutional rights? Yes. And they have spoken about section 19 and that word embarrassment. When you defame someone, it is not how the person feels, it is about how their reputation is tarnished. It is not the perception of the person, it is the perception of people looking at that person that causes defamation. Tell me about the word embarrassment. It is the person's feelings, it is their own personal perception that is going to cause criminal libel and defamation. That the Bar Association has said will cause a violation of constitutional rights. Let me tell you another thing that the Bar Association has said about this cybercrime bill. And I just read the submission that somebody sent to me. So I'm just trying to repeat what is in it. Under section 19, a magistrate's court will be able to impose a fine of $70,000 and a term of imprisonment of 7 years. Do you know that such a long-term sentence and such a fine only falls within the privilege of the High Court, not a magistrate's court? So they are saying that a magistrate's court can be independent in this way. The Bar Association is saying that is a violation of our constitutional rights. It is not only ordinary people like me and you who have a problem with this bill. It is lawyers, bigger lawyers who have a problem with it. So when we walk the streets against this cybercrime bill, let us feel validated that what we are saying as ordinary people, what we are thinking, what Yah is telling us in our spirit, that these things are wrong with this bill. We are right, we are correct. So we will march, and we will march again.
Good morning, loyal opposition. Good morning. What a joy it is for us to be back out here again this Saturday morning to make it abundantly clear that we will not be recipients of a token expression that is given to people to simply attempt to stop their protests and to stop their resistance because you are not in agreement with what they have to say. Let me be clear this morning. I guess the recording you heard a few minutes ago to do with the Rev that might get in prison for disagreeing or not supporting the government could be me. But they can't do that, you see, because for the whole morning we were hearing how the Lord is the people's guide for past 300 years. With him still on the government side, we have no doubts or fears. Thank you, not the government, the people's side. The people's side. And let me be clear. Let me be clear. I am not interested in whether you agree on a God or not. That's your business. That's your prerogative. But in our national anthem is enshrined a respect and recognition of a supreme being that is way beyond any human individual. Last I checked, he said the earth is his and the fullness thereof, the people and all that dwell therein. That tells me even the government. Now let me say a few things to you. Some time ago on the Marcy Week show, I expressed concern with the Chinese Communist Party meeting with the Barbados Labour Party at Robert Street. I am here to tell you this morning that every single thing you see being attempted to be implemented in this country is the Chinese Communist Party playbook. And I am not of any concern for anyone who thinks we shouldn't be critical of an international government. This is a sovereign country. Stay out of our business and go and look after your business in China. Do not get involved in the politics and the social development of Barbados. We may be getting money from you, we may be borrowing money from you, you may be giving money to us, but we are not your slaves or your servants. Let us be clear. When 2022 election was called, this government asked the people for a mandate to govern this country. We did not give them a mandate to represent international agencies in this country. We gave them the mandate to represent the people of Barbados in St. Joseph, in St. Philip South, in Christchurch East, in St. George North, in St. Lucie, in St. Peter. We did not authorize you to represent the World Health Organization or the World Economic Forum or, for that matter, the International Monetary Fund. We gave you the responsibility of representing the people of this country. What we are seeing, however, in the Cybercrime Bill, in the Child Protection Bill, and in other legal matters before Parliament are the representations of international agencies that know nothing about the culture of this country. You are trying to introduce a system where children in Barbados from as early as 5 years old can decide what they want to do. If you told my mother that when I was a child, your head would be facing the opposite direction before you know what to do. But instead of that, we Barbadians want to sit back and allow a government to impose an international perspective that is not reflective of the culture of this country. Our parents raised our children, not a government. I remember Ronald Reagan making the statement, when you hear somebody say, I am from the government and I'm here to help you, be petrified. Be scared stiff. Let me address one other matter. I understand a member of Parliament. I am not going to call any names, but you will know who I mean when I proceed. I understand a member of Parliament charged against these marches, labeling them as anarchy and tyranny and the need to protect democracy. Who? Tony who? I didn't say that as done here, because I don't know these days if the cybercrime bill will reach me on the back of this truck. This that you are looking at today, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the greatest demonstrations of democracy you will ever see in a country. The ability to march. And how dare you, as the representative of one of the major unions in this country, suggest that when people march, they are threatening the democracy of Barbados. What insanity am I hearing coming out of our Parliament? As a reverend and as a minister, I can label it as nothing short of being demon-possessed, because that ain't natural. As a people, you have a right to express your disagreement. Our Constitution protects that right for you to express your disagreement on any matter with anyone. And we have a government whose representatives in the highest area of our country are going to suggest to us that a marches on a whole are a threat to democracy. by those who are promoting it. Listen, lady, just call the Marcia Week show, that's all you have to do. Just call the name. But don't ever let me see you on the street again, marching for any reason with the Barbados Workers Union on the behalf of workers in this country. You ought to resign your position from the union because you have just told the members of that union that to march and protest for any reason is a threat against democracy. You should resign. Let me end with this one thing. Listen, I am not going to sit down as a father and a grandfather and have no government threaten my children and grandchildren with 7 years in jail and $70,000 and or $70,000. You want to criminalize my children when over a third of the people in the world who use social media are young people. And what you as a government are doing is that you want to threaten the people in this country. And here is a great revelation you're going to get this morning. They want to call an early general election. I dare you! I dare you! Call it! Call it! Call it! And you will discover that just like an iceberg, only 1/10 of what you are seeing is above water. But you don't want to see the other 9/10 that's underwater. Call it! I dare you, Prime Minister, call an election. You will see that there's no DLP, APP, but you will see that there are people, citizens of this country, that will remove you from office and all of your members. Call it. Call it if you dare. Call it if you dare. You forget that it's the people of this country that put you in the House of Assembly. And it is the people of this country who will remove you from the House of Assembly. You are not our masters. If you want to be master slave, be master slave. But you will not enslave the rest of us, trying to perpetuate what our colonial masters enshrined in our society and in our DNA by educating black slaves to enslave black slaves. That is over. You got that, Cap. You got that recorded for her talking concerning the right to protest. I want the entire of Bridgetown to hear Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Mia Amor Motby's opinion on marches and protests. Let it rip.
Today is about sending a message that the people of Barbados will not allow anybody, neither Barbados Labour Party, Democratic Labour Party, private sector to intimidate it, nor ever again.
You heard what she said? Not ever again. Not ever again. Hey.
You have been raised to think for yourself.
I am raised to think for myself.
And you have the right to speak out.
And I have the right
to speak out without somebody trying to unfair you in this country.
That ain't my words. Those are not my words. And I don't care how much I change my voice. It will never sound like that. You're looking at a full-fledged man. I know who I am. I don't have to figure out what I am, and neither do I need to change what I am. My wife is very happy with the reality of me being a man. I'm done there. See me? You all are trouble. I finish right there. God bless you. Take the music.
In this country, you have the right to speak up. country. So today is equally about reclaiming for Barbadians the right to express themselves in an environment where fear is removed. We do not believe
Maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. Good at maths nor English. English. Pretending to be good. Pretending to be good. Pretending to be good. Pretending to be good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 Pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths nor English. I just pretending to care about people.
Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done. Me a take people to let me down. Me a take people to let me down. She the only one little dealing. Make contracts and no corruption. Me a take people to let me down. Me a take people to let me down. Promise us a better tomorrow. Tell me that it's suffering done.
Yeah.
Me a take people to let me down.
Yeah, family, we got ready to bring on, you know who, Kimar, right? And listen, all over the continent right now is the youth that's standing up and taking control. You look at Senegal, what just happened in Senegal and all the French-speaking areas, where the youth, like Kimar, is stepping up and taking over and running over the old heads that don't want to give up power. So Kimar, it's your time. Yeah.
Good morning to the members of the loyal opposition of Barbados. I want to say how happy I am to see you all right here on Broad Street. Yet another Saturday, the Sabbath day of the week. So thank you once more. I want to see how proud I am of all of you. Today we can brag a bit and say that some of the clauses of the Cybercrime bill were removed, but it is not enough for us. We want the bill altogether removed, and the Computer Misuse Act can stay along with the current Defamation Act, and we do not need an act in Parliament to protect politicians and the friends of politicians who engage in corrupt acts like the Hope Project, where $60 million can be taken from the Housing Credit Fund of Barbados and not even 300 houses to show. So I say, if some people who like to call for investigations and who like to pelt checks in people's tails, that they be the first ones investigated that their spouse was involved in receiving government contracts, $60 million worth of the government's money. This Somaliland administration pilfered through the pockets of friends and families. I say to you that even this week we saw how they would even treat the homeless. That throw the possessions of the homeless in the garbage to enclosing the Treasury building, a building in which they condemn to be not for proper use by the workers of Barbados, but want to take away the properties of those persons at London-born Towers in the city of Bridgetown, to put those people from their good properties into a sick building. But I say to you, when they spend your money to ensure that they have a good quality of life, they're spitting at your children. They're spitting at them and offering them sex surveys and an IDB survey. And then you have A.K. McConney coming to the public of Barbados and saying that she's not resigning after signing off on an abuse of the children of this country. And these wicked charlatans can get in the Parliament of Barbados this week and talk about their passing a child protection bill. The children need to be protected from them. They are the ones who brought the sex survey to the children, not the people of this country. And I say to you, you need to stand up and demand that this child protection bill be set in the right spirit as it is not. They even went so far in their hypocrisy. And I want to say congratulations to the Prime Minister for returning to Parliament after all of these months. The first time you were seeing a public action since we have put some thorns in your tail with that budget response. The entire Parliament was full. So I want to say last week when we called them out for not showing up and doing any work, the members of Parliament of this country who continue to get 3 pay raises in Barbados, that they can take Kerry Simmons, Jerome Walker, Santia Bradshaw, and whoever else is a senior minister and increase their pay, that they are not being paid to the level of deputy prime minister. So we have people being paid, 20 people being paid to do one job and that of deputy prime minister. Because they continue to abuse your money to protect themselves. People like to talk about parties fighting. Yes, a party's fighting, but we do not know what is happening in it. Well, as you said, we know. Because the entire general election was held in Barbados to calm those MPs in there from putting a coup on the Prime Minister. As she called an election to get rid of some of them, well, they were back, not luckily. And she's rewarding them with big picks and big jobs and ministerial extra stuff. We had a man who said that he's an envoy of reparations and everything happened to reparations around him. Well, I don't know, it has not been run through my office. So what is he being paid taxpayers' money to do? We had the most consultants in Barbados, $20-something million worth of consulting fees. And these people cutting off disabled people from receiving NIS pension. How wicked and draconian is that? They're not only treating the citizens poorly, they're treating the police poorly too. But if you leave the police force before the time, I think that they will take care of you and give you any benefits. So not even the armed forces are receiving the benefits of this hopeless government. A government that has offered us nothing but corruption and theft for the taxpayers' money. A government who will send up the pension age and the people who serve this country are contributing, who will send up NIS contributions after writing off, because I saw them in the newspaper this week talking about $1.8 billion worth in tax revenues. Let me remind Barbadians that this Mayor Motley administration will off $1.17 billion in tax and VAT revenues for the private sector of this country. Those tax write-offs even benefited someone who was the family of the Prime Minister. But still they can be rented to entrepreneurs to tell them that they owe back tax. Well, you don't want back tax, your friends. Well, you don't want back tax, your family. Back tax your father. And back tax yourself for your local pilfering and corruption that you oversaw as one of the most corrupt leaders this country has ever seen. Barbadians, I can say to you that by the end of this administration's term, the treasury will be completely broke and we'll be more indebted than we ever were in the history of this country. And those persons who are thinking they're going to get an NS pension, you will not. They are already cutting the benefits. They already passed legislation to increase the time that you're due for severance. And the Attorney General of this country
say that they increased that time from 12 weeks to 22 weeks because they wanted to give businesses a lifeline. But what about a lifeline for Barbadians? What about an ease in income tax? What about a removal of the garbage and sewage tax? Because we are paying sewage tax and we are not connected to the sewage. 40% of the people on the coast are connected to the sewage, and 95% of us are paying for sewage tax that we do not use. I don't actually, Master Cameron saying sewage tax makes $80 million a month in Barbados. Do you know what is $80 million a month unaccounted for? No public records to show or justify how $80 million a month being collected in garbage and sewage tax. But I say that we need to call for an investigation into the Barbados Water Authority because they had the resignation of 2 or 3 boards, and the board members are saying that this government is so corrupt that they are allowing the state contractors to get the contracts over and over, and they're not spreading the economic pie. But do you know why? Do you know why? The same sewage that this administration will sabotage for political fortunes. They are seeking to borrow $600 million to come and give the people of this country drinking water to drink. So much so that they could be out holding town hall meetings, telling people about their plans to bring drinking water plants to this country. We are not drinking any sewage or drinking water in this country. And I say to the government, if you build that tertiary level plant to reclaim that water, to put it back into our clean water aquifers, we will shut down Barbados.
You good?
Never in the history of this country would I hear a sellout that is a union leader, Tony Moore, sellout the people of Barbados for a seat in the House of Parliament. And she is in bed with the government, making that bed up and laying in it. 10 toes down, 10 toes up with the government of this country. Continuing to sell out people, and she's getting in the parliament of this country. That one, Tony Moore, and talking the utmost rubbish. But she was not talking rubbish when she was marching up and down in this country, taking kickbacks and bribes to be marching with the private sector of this country against an elected government. She was not talking about a sellout then. So I say, down with Tony Moore. Tony Moore, down with Tony Moore. She is not the best example as it relates to a union leader. This man right here on my right, Caswell Franklin, is the best example if you want to know what it means for union representation. He continues to stand up for the workers of this country, while Tony Moore sell them down the river for less than 30 pieces of silver. But I will say this to her, that the workers that you sold down the river, right? Because we're not talking about the fact that she gets a salary as the head of the union, she gets a salary as a member of parliament, and God knows what other committees that she's on, that she's getting taxpayers' money, and God knows what private ventures she and the private sector has collaborated with, taking potential kickbacks to turn a blind eye to the poor treatment of workers in this country. So I am sending a message to all and sundry, all of those workers, all public workers from the highest levels right back down. Stand up and shut this country down and let us save Barbados from despotism, dictatorship, because we will not be muzzled. We will not be muzzled. And with that being said, this cybercrime bill has to go. And that is my time. I will go as well. Thank you.
When this fair land was young, our brave forefathers sowed the seed from which our pride is sprung.
Next up is the People's Choice, Brother Caswell. You hear what he said? But where people do one thing, the People's Choice.
Pretending to be good at math, not English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good at math, not English. I just pretending to care about people. Good at math, not English. English. Pretending to be good. I pretending to be good. Just pretending to be good. I pretending to be good. I just pretending to care about people. 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 And I'm pretending to be good at maths or English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths or English. I just pretending to care about people. I'm pretending to be good. And I'm pretending to be good at maths or English. I just pretending to care about people. And I'm pretending to be good at maths or English. I just pretending to care about people.
You heard it from them. I was going to say, I said, but me horses. You know, so pardon me for that mistake, you know, I slip of the tongue. You know, these things happen, so please forgive me. This is because, you know, the wrong bread and one thing similar, so you get mixed up. Anyhow, sorry to be late, but I had to catch bus today because she who must be obeyed has the car. And you know how it is.
She who has to be obeyed.
She who must be obeyed. I make no qualms about it, I obey.
Yeah. He in charge, but his wife is giving him permission.
Yes, she tells me that I can do these things and I do them. Anyhow, please, listen to me very carefully. This week, as last week, I got confused with the nonsense that these people keep in here. Marsha Cattle gave the impression that the problems with the cybercrime bill will be solved when they remove certain aspects of it. They remove a thing. That was only a suggestion that might or might not come in the final report. But you saw in the newspapers and all kinds of things that it was changed. That was to fool you. Front page of the paper. So let me tell you what to do. Read the paper, yes, but don't always believe. Most of the time, they skew it toward the government. to give people the impression, oh, that things are good. This government has not done anything right. I was going to say they've not done anything right in Parliament. I didn't have to come and fix. But let me assure you that there was one piece of legislation that they didn't have to fix, and that was to increase their salaries. They don't have to bring that back. That was done correctly. Everything else, they got to come back and fix. Because they're too shoddy. They don't take advice from the people who are supposed to give them advice, who are paid to give them advice. That's called the public service. A lot of you criticize public officers because public officers take the time and they make sure things are done properly. And this government decided they are not going to follow what the rules say, what the laws say, what everything anybody else is saying. They are going to do what they like. So instead of listening to the advice of the civil servants who are paid and trained, what they do, they hire consultants and pay them more than the people who are actually employed to give them advice. These consultants, according to David Simmons, he said, it's not me, that they don't do anything. Let's come to the office, get the maid to make coffee, and put the foot up on the desk. David Simmons said that at CBC. Not me. I stopped quoting him now, but I had to do this today. Know what has happened last month, at the end of last month. Mayor Motley decided, you know something? My consultant, even though they get paid more than the civil servants, I still need to pay them more. And she has given instructions that each of those consultants, the backup consultants, will get a gratuity of 20% of their annual salary for every year since 2020, July 2020, July 24th, 2020. That is how much she cares. She cares about the people who are making $15,000 and $20,000 a month, and she's then going on and giving them 20% of their annual salary. For what? For doing nothing and backdating it for 4 years. And you expect people to just sit down and take it while you are now unfairing junior people, people at the very bottom, people who are paying $500 a week to, the people who clean the street, the people who clean the botanical gardens, they're giving them $500 a week and tell them, oh, you're consultants too. But they're getting a gratuity. They didn't even pay the national insurance for them. Even though the national insurance has already said to the government that these people are not self-employed and the government must pay the national insurance contributions for these people. But who tells you that the government care about anything? They said only pretend to care. This is what happens to you when you don't pay national insurance contributions. I know I used to work there. You get sick, you stop home and rub up a mustard roll or whatever it is you got because you can't afford to go to the doctor because you ain't getting the money from work and you ain't getting enough from national insurance. A lot of these people work with sharp-edged tools and they work in crowds. If one of those people get injured, national insurance will pay you 90% of your wages for the period you're on sick leave, up to a year. That is if you pay contributions. But no, they're not paying their contributions. So if you are injured to the point where you cannot work, they don't buy your bread and ask you for breadfruit. Ask your neighbor for some salt. I think that's the only thing you'll be able to afford because they are not giving you a single cent as a result because you have not paid contributions. So when you hear the Prime Minister saying that she's going to pretend to care about people, that's the truth. She really does not care. And unfortunately for her, you know the old people say, the truth spill out. Well, in that case, the truth came out. I think she regrets it, but she said it already. And I will not let her forget it. She said she only pretends to care about people. And she said that on the floor of the House in response to a question from Ralph Thorne. Ralph had a head hot. You know, to tell me when you said the truth, when your head hot, when you're drunk. And I don't think she was drunk in the house. I could be wrong. But I can't swear to that. I could be wrong. Honestly, I could be wrong. But I'm not saying that she was, unless her head was hot. But it could be one or the other or both. They said too that when you're pregnant, that the cuteness come out too. But somebody tell me not she, so I ain't going on that road. So let me tell you, this is what they have done. Now, you are not going to be entitled to receive your pension when you reach 68 because they are not paying in your contributions. So what are you going to do when you reach 68? Come down here by the Freedom Park and beg for $1. And that's the only thing you got left. Because the government is the biggest criminal in Barbados when it comes to dealing with workers' rights. People can play about Miss Ram and Sandy Lane and those people who treat people really badly. But they learn from government. That's right. Government is showing them the way. That's right. How to treat poor people. You just imagine. This government knows that they are wrong. But you know why they're not paying it? The IMF tell them don't pay. And I'm not guessing, I'm telling you. The IMF tell them don't hire any more people in the public service. But they must, they don't have no choice. Or not, they can't get the work done. So they call them contractors and don't pay them. They're not working for themselves. A private contractor is a fellow who, when you hire him, can bring his own workers to come and work for him, bring in staff. These fellows outside the road can bring in staff. They're not contractors. But this government, this caring government, that they call themselves, they decide that they will treat workers badly because a lot of them stupid are going to vote for them. And because they know that the people they come back and they give them a red shirt with $100 power minute and then they feel good, they're going to vote for me next time. And some of them before the big elections and they're begging. But when they're doing that, they give me their friend's job. There's a woman who was responsible for planning the Prime Minister here, and she was getting $12,000, $8,000 now she got a promotion to 12. You know, and the thing is, if you look at the Prime Minister head, you would think that anybody ever do that here. So she can't pay for nothing. Look at the woman head. And then it looks like she goes in the shower, and the car don't ever which is so she run out and come again in the car. Forget anything about the head. And then you will tell me, it ain't rasta, it ain't style, it ain't nothing, it's just a mess, a nonsense on top of her head. And she pays somebody $8,000 to do that. And the fella, and the thing is, that $8,000 person better than us, the short contributions paid. Their contributions are being paid. But the fella at the bottom who making $500 a week can't get contributions paid and will suffer. National insurance can prosecute. But how is national insurance going to prosecute the government? But they don't know that they pack out this place and the police can't prosecute them. Only this week, a couple days ago, an MP, I'm not going to call his name, reversed his car onto a lady's car. And tell the lady, let me make this up because we don't want, I want to get the police involved. She said, no, but I'm going to buy this car in December. I can't afford not to take. You know, when the police came, he told the police that the woman is up on he. Lucky for her, she's one of the new cars, you know, brand new, she want to get in December. You think got a dash cam? It got a dash cam. And she was able to show the police the footage from the dash cam, and of course now he wrong again. But his tint was so dark. You know you got these dark tints when you got the young ladies to rape. You can't let anybody see. I'm calling them. And they took the car to MTW for inspection, it failed. And he picked up the phone and called a certain minister. And all of a sudden, the failure had been overturned. His car is good again. That is the corruption in this place. You can do anything in this place as long as you got VIP tickets slapped on by you. That is why we have seen promotions in the public service, people who are loyal or got reason to be loyal to the Prime Minister. The police will tell you that their commissioner and some other senior officers put the Glass administration in court because they were not promoted. I don't know the facts about the case, but with that case, all I know is that the court said that the government was not wrong. High Court. They went to the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal threw the case again because they said the decision of the High Court was correct. So, the same police officers decided to go to the Caribbean Court of Justice. And at the morning of the case, the government got frightened and settled. You win 3 times, you win 2 times. At 2 sets of courts, and you decide somehow I can lose and settle and get enough money. And then promote one of the commissioner so you know where his God is going to lie. I am not saying that it actually lies there, but it would tend to lie there. From the speak out days again. Then the sent home, the chief of staff of the defense force said he reached retirement age. And he had actually reached retirement age at that point. But they raised the age, sent him home, and then bring somebody that was older. Yeah. So you see what they're doing. They are making sure they have their hands on all the aspects of power where they can control them with their people. And the last thing they were doing here, and that we intervene on the Marshall Week show, is to highlight to you the nonsense about the Cybercrime bill. They want to lock you up even if you were telling the truth. Even if you were telling the truth, you were supposed to go to jail for 7 years. The Bible says that the truth should set you free. May I mostly say the truth will get locked up. That is the difference with these people. The truth will not set you free in Barbados. After pushback from the Marshall Week show and others, they relent. And it's all some nonsense committee of parliament. No, there's nothing wrong. Fix it. You want all that committee, you know you get taught. You get catch with your pants down. Sit there, pull it up and sit back in the corner and hash them out. Don't pretend that the band's up all the time. But she's a pretender, thank you. They are wrong. They're absolutely wrong. But we tell you, I see Marshall Tell, he said she can they want to make some changes in line with some things we were saying. But they're still not making enough because they still want a magistrate to lock you up for 7 years. This will be the first time in the history anywhere in the Caribbean where a magistrate got so much power. But you know when you're a magistrate, you're looking for promotion. So you're going to do the government want, or you will never get past magistrate. You will never become judge, you'll never become Chief Justice. And this is the last thing I want to talk about before the big thing. Chief Justice. May I just met your good buddy and friend, Chief Justice of Barbados. Can we tell you? But he knew that he was going to be Chief Justice 6 months, almost a year before the interviews. 11 months. Because one of his staff called me and asked me how to calculate salary because he told them he's going to be Chief Justice, next Chief Justice. So he knew. So don't tell me that this person is corrupt. How he knew that he was going to end up with victory at the interview that didn't even advertise yet. That didn't have the candidates yet. But he knew. You know why? This country is too corrupt. Everything that Motley wants to do, she had him doing. She even replaced the Solicitor General with him. Solicitor General is the government lawyer who represents the government in court. No, the technical he is a consultant. Chairman of the National Insurance Board, Chairman of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission that messed up the last elections, and up to now we can't get a report from that election. But I ain't see it yet. So ladies and gentlemen, we band of from the March Week show, we have to stand up and keep fighting and keep opening people's eyes because the government then tried to shut them down. But don't give up, don't be afraid. We will emerge victorious in the end. But it will take some work, it will take some sweat. Lord knows it will take some sweat. We're trying to wrap all it now. Thank you so much. Well, just join us inside the square. People here, over there from others. So, please take a round.
Good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen. The loyal opposition, let me hear you. Come on, make some noise. You can do better than that. Yes,
Yeah, all right.
better.
Well,
live with that. We also want to welcome the members of the press that are here. I'm not too sure which members are here. Can we get the members of the press to come forward, please? We can get the members of the press to come forward. I want you right down here by me, man. Come down here, man. Here, over here, so man. Look, right over here. Yeah, in front. Come right in front. You can sit down, man. All right. And who else? It's only you? So far. Okay, man. Okay. What we want to begin this afternoon with, I fortunately or unfortunately am your MC for the afternoon. I don't know why Marcy would pick a Pentecostal minister to make MC. Because everybody knows when you give them 2 minutes, 2 hours later you're waiting for them to close. And usually they have about 5 or 6 closures. But I promise to be an MC this afternoon. We want to commence the afternoon with a statement to the press on the behalf of the Marcia Week Show and of course the loyal opposition concerning the critical analysis of the Cybercrime Bill 2024, the concerns and recommendations. This I'm reading to you because while my good friend here may be a good guy of the press, and some of them may be good guys, we know sometimes that when you make statements, the press doesn't always carry what you say. So we're issuing them a press release. I'm reading it to you so that when it comes out, you will be able to confirm that what you see is what we have read. Global trends predicting outcomes of the Cybercrime Bill. Recent global trends indicate that broad and ambiguous cybercrime legislation often results in increased arrests, and that's not good English, arrests and convictions, posing a significant threat to freedom of expression. Similarities in these laws across various countries enable governments to suppress dissent by controlling information. Bloggers and journalists face severe penalties, including lengthy prison terms for online activities deemed misleading or offensive. Common elements in all of these laws that facilitate human rights violations include obscure wording, that means vague language that leads to the criminalization of dissent, severe penalties, that means harsh fines and imprisonment, suppressed freedom of expression, and government control, which means laws are used to silence political opponents and suppress criticism. General concerns with the Cybercrime Bill 2024. The Cybercrime Bill 2024 has stirred significant public concern since its introduction, sparking objections through protest marches, newspaper submissions, social media commentaries, and submissions to Parliament's Joint Select Committee. While the intention behind the bill to protect individuals from cyberbullying, pornography, and defamation is commendable, there are grave reservations about certain provisions that are perceived to be overly broad and potentially infringing on fundamental rights, particularly the right to freedom of expression. Minister Carroll has emphasized that the goal of the Cybercrime Bill is not to restrict general free speech, but rather to reduce the number of defamatory attacks and bullying online. Her words, however, are contradicted by the potential for abuse embedded within the provisions of the bill, and her proposed changes fail to address substantive concerns raised by citizens regarding the potential misuse of the legislation, the potential for selective enforcement based on political affiliations, and jeopardizing the rights of individuals such as cybersecurity professionals, journalists, researchers, activists, and whistleblowers. Areas of concern not addressed by Minister Carroll. Vague and obscure wording. Section 20's broad language criminalizes various online expressions. Section 20, 1, subsection 2 states, and I quote, "A person who intentionally uses a computer system for the purpose of causing annoyance, inconvenience, danger, obstruction, embarrassment, insult, injury, humiliation, intimidation, hatred, anxiety, or causes substantial emotional distress to that person is guilty of an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of $70,000 or to imprisonment for a term of 7 years or both." Even if Minister Carroll's recommendations to remove certain words and phrases are implemented, the threat of criminal prosecution, including hefty fines, $70,000, is not a light fine. And imprisonment 7 years, that is a long time for an ordinary citizen. The threat of criminal prosecution will still loom over individuals who engage in online expression that are deemed to cause humiliation, intimidation, anxiety, embarrassment, or emotional distress. In addition, this section does not carry a defense of truth, as under Section 19. For instance, suppose citizen X shares an accurate or truthful statement online about a government housing project, $60 million cost overruns. Under Section 22 of the Cybercrime Act 2024, X could potentially be fined $70,000, face imprisonment for up to 7 years, or both, if the overseeing minister experiences substantial emotional distress. Wording in Section 19.3, malicious communication. Minister Carroll has proposed that the words ridicule and contempt be removed from Section 19.3. This section requires further amendment beyond this. Section 19.3 of the bill may face constitutional challenges for potentially infringing upon the right of freedom of expression guaranteed by Section 22B of the Constitution because of the inclusion of the term embarrassment, which introduces a subjective element focusing on the individual's feelings rather than reputational harm.
Laws safeguarding reputation typically address societal perceptions, not individual emotions. Thus, protecting hurt feelings without tangible reputational damage may fall outside the scope of constitutional protection. Hefty fines and imprisonment. Imposing fines of $70,000 and up to 7 years imprisonment is seen as a means to intimidate those who criticize the government and high-profile members of society, and is considered unjust penalties for youthful error and the public in general. The fines and terms of imprisonment, for example, under Section 19, malicious communication,
may be considered severe, especially when one considers that for the same crime of criminal libel under Section 34 of the Defamation Act, a magistrate court that tries the case of criminal libel with the consent of the defendant can only impose a maximum fine of $2,000 or a prison term of up to 12 months. In contrast, Section 19 of the bill grants the magistrate court the power to levy fines up to $70,000 or impose a 7-year prison sentence or both. The imposition of a long prison sentence, such as 7 years, requires adjudication by an independent court, which according to the Constitution refers specifically to the High Court Division of the Supreme Court of Barbados. The question must be asked, is a magistrate court an independent court for the purposes of dealing with serious criminal matters with the power to impose long prison sentences on persons convicted by that court? Unnecessary criminalization. Various sections unnecessarily criminalize actions. Part 2.5, 1 to 3 criminalizes modern productive uses of software and data processing. Part 3.24, assisting a police officer may undermine or privilege against self-incrimination. Part 2, interfering with computer systems can lead to criminalization for minor or accidental interference. We want to make a special note regarding criminal defamation under Section 19. Niall Harper and legal experts have asserted that criminal defamation is outdated and often misused to silence voices like journalists, bloggers, whistleblowers, and artists. Many international bodies, including the European Court of Human Rights and the United Nations Human Rights Committee, view criminal defamation laws as unjust and against human rights. Some countries have already abolished criminal defamation and only deal with civil cases. Widening of the scope of cyberbullying under Section 20. The focus of cyberbullying typically centers on objectively identifiable behaviors such as hate speech, threats against life, defamation, and extortion. These actions are clear-cut and can be determined based on specific criteria. However, the language used in Section 20 broadens the definition of cyberbullying by encompassing a wider range of expressions such as anxiety and embarrassment. This expansion introduces subjectivity into the determination of what constitutes cyberbullying, potentially leading to inconsistencies and challenges in enforcement and interpretation.
Youth offenders. Approximately 1/3 of global internet users are children and adolescents under the age of 18. Young people are particularly vulnerable as they may not fully comprehend the link between their actions and resulting consequences. Hence, it is very likely that a high proportion of offenders falling under the cyberbullying section 20 of the bill will be underage individuals and youth. The penalties outlined in Section 20 of the Cybercrime Bill, as currently drafted, are deemed disproportionate and or unreasonable, particularly when considering the school-going youth are likely to be the primary offenders. It is therefore essential for the government to contemplate enforcement measures that are suitable for their age. The Canadian Standing Senate Committee on Human Rights has recommended the importance of restorative justice initiatives in addressing cyberbullying. Recommendations. Despite the conciliatory recommendations made by Minister Carroll, which overlook the significant concerns voiced by citizens, the bill will persist in its failure to embody impartial legislative safeguards democratic principle, preserves freedom of speech. In alignment with the United Nations Human Rights Committee General Comment number 34 in 2011 on Article 19 regarding freedom of opinions and expression, we recommend that the government of Barbados either amend or ideally repeal the Cybercrime Bill 2024 to achieve the following objectives: clarifying offenses, remove ambiguous language, and provide clear definition for offenses. This isn't good. Come, Lisa. Yeah, come.
In alignment with the United Nations Human Rights Committee's General Comment number 34 and Article 9 regarding freedoms of opinion and expression, we recommend that the government of Barbados either amend or outright repeal the Cybercrime Bill 2024 to achieve the following objectives: clarify the offences, remove ambiguous language, and provide clear definitions for offences, safeguard our freedom of expression, and avoid measures that restrict free speech and expression, ensure proportionate penalties, implement penalties that are reasonable and not excessively harsh, prevent harassment and intimidation, refrain from enacting measures that may lead to the harassment, intimidation, or stigmatization of individuals based on their opinions. This is the end of the statement, and it is signed as being delivered by the Master Beach Show and citizens comprising the loyal opposition.
Good afternoon again. Good afternoon again. Opposition? You're supposed to fall in line. Opposition? Yes, we're ready. I'm seeing here Ras Simba. Come down, Ras Simba. And Ras Simba has a quick message for us, and as he's coming, we want to remind you of tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? Who knows what's happening tomorrow? Roadside Parliament. Roadside Parliament. And it's going to be at Hastings Rock. Right? Hastings Rock, 5:30. 5:30, that's where we are tomorrow, okay? Let's have Rasimba.
Give thanks, Marcia. Good afternoon to the loyal opposition. Good afternoon. I'm not going to be here too long. I'm going to make it short and sweet. What I want to talk about today is our Constitution and the power of the Constitution. Recently I was watching one of my favorite movies, watching it about the 100th time. It's called The Great Debaters. And a part of this movie, in the end debate, they was talking about the power of civil disobedience. I don't know if see some of you shaking your heads, you may know I'm going down this line, you know. And the young man giving the debate says that when all else fails, you have the choice of violence or civil disobedience. And those that are creating the problems, I put it that way nicely, should hope that the people choose civil disobedience. I say that because most of you all know that I represent my community, the Rastafari community. And we represent, right now we are fighting for one of the most basic of our fundamental rights, which is the right to pray. The right to access God in a way that we see fit. When challenged, I challenged the Attorney General in a Joint Select Committee meeting in 2019, I think it was. And his response was to go into Parliament, just across the road. And I want to quickly stick a pin about Parliament, second oldest parliament in the world, which means that laws were being passed there, which made us less than human. Laws that were being passed in that building, which agreed with the enshacklement and the enslavement of African-descended people. So, in my estimate, the Parliament is nothing for us to be proud of. But going back to what I was talking about. So, we're on the road now fighting for the fundamental freedom that is to access God. The Attorney General, the passed a law called the Sacrament Candidates Act. And it says that Rastafari, after acknowledging the violation of my human rights and constitutional rights, the Attorney General said that he could no longer continue to violate the rights of these people. And he went ahead and continued. So we're in court. As I said, I want to talk about the power of the Constitution. 30 Love has made our Constitution weak. The fact that we can have a seemingly dictatorship, a monopoly on our politics, on our government, shows that we are less than a democratic system. There are flaws, there are holes. I went to court about 2 weeks ago. And if in the courts of law, when you go to court, you know, most hearings, the public is allowed, you can come in to see what's going on. You know, all my hearings so far have been online. Granted that they were started in Corona. The public has been shut out. The media has been shut out. I have been shut out of one of my own cases. You know, they say they see me in the back room in the Zoom. The Zoom passed me. But I went to court 2 weeks ago, Supreme Court, High Court. This is just for trial, pre-trial hearing, because I go to court 11th and 12th of June. And one person came, just one brethren came to give me a little moral support. Just one. It's just a pre-trial, nothing big, you know. No need for the whole army to come out. And the judge denied him entrance into the court. Now my lawyer has advised me not to speak about it because he said it shouldn't antagonize the judge, shouldn't get her vexed. But it's either right or wrong. Whether you vex or not, got nothing to do with it. I'm in the courts of law. I'm looking for justice. I'm not looking for friends. I don't need you to like me. I don't even need you to respect me. But I need you to recognize that justice is due to one and justice is due to all. And I said it before, that when you infringe on the human constitutional rights of one person, you infringe on the rights of us all. So you may not care about herb, you may say, oh, that's the man talking about weed and you want people to smoke. No, that's not the point, you're missing the point totally. There was a time that the Baptists, some of us here may be Baptists, that it was illegal for them to ring the bell. There was times in Christian history, if you know as Christian people, if you know your history, that there were times when Christians were not allowed to gather. They were not allowed to meet. your fundamental human and constitutional rights. Once those are taken from you, you have a duty, a moral obligation to disobey unjust laws. Martin Luther spoke about it. John F. Kennedy spoke about it. A man called St. Augustine spoke about it. Countless people have spoke about resisting unjust law. What I want to ask of us all is to think about when our words are not enough, when our agitation is not enough, what shall we do next? What level of civil disobedience are we willing to go through? Because make no mistake about it, civil disobedience means discomfort to us all. You know about Montgomery, the bus strike? It wasn't easy for those striking. They still had to go to work, they had to walk miles. But if we do not stand on principle, we have no feet. We have no wings. And I want to leave you with a case. And I go to court on June 11th and 12th, and everyone is free to come and support the idea of having your constitutional rights respected and upheld. But many of you, or some of you, will know me for a couple of years ago. I championed the homeschool case for a Rastafari family who was being railroaded. Different government, same attitude. Be not fooled, the loyal opposition is needed. And a young lady called me last week in tears. She made application to homeschool 3 of her 4 children. She got permission for 3 of her 4 children. The 4th, about to sit common entrance, she didn't want the child to sit common entrance because she knew as a mother he wasn't ready. And we have an educational system, or a schooling system rather, because not much education going on. You know, but it's a perfectly miseducational system. You know, really just want to push children through. You know, I heard Marcy and others speak on the show a couple of nights ago about the level of illiteracy amongst adults. Starts in the school. These people went to school. They can't read and write today, but they went all the way through school. It's not that they didn't go to school, they went to school. So this mother said that her child was not up to the level to sit the common entrance. People in the ministry said, well, somebody can read for your child. And the mother's replied is, who is going to read for my child during life? She is about to get charged for not letting her child sit the common entrance. Now she applied to the ministry since January for this same child. Since January. Since then she's gone through surgery, a whole set of things happened. But the fault of the ministry has made it that her application was not acknowledged. Now I'm not going to call names because I've tangled with these people again and I'm about to tangle again. Different government, same attitude. There is a saying that goes, when the people are ready, a government will emerge. I don't know if you all know who is Stokely Carmichael. Stokely Carmichael said that he had traveled the length and breadth of Africa and he had seen many Africans in government, but he was yet to see an African government. We have seen many Barbadians in government, but I think we're yet to see a Barbadian government. This can only come from gatherings like this. This can only come when we encourage twos and threes to come out of our families, our children. We should be packed with children here. young people. Make them come. Numbers. That is what we need. So they said I'm not going to keep it too long because I know I'm going past 10 minutes, master. You know, when it's starting to get, you know. But I'll be back on 11th and 12th of June. Remember what it said. Think about the level of sacrifice that we are all willing to make civil disobedience once needed happen. What are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to give up? Because we're not afraid.
People, you ready for the Barbadian government? Ready for the Barbadian government? We are not afraid. We're not afraid. Listen, I think it was this week, time is going so fast, that we saw in Parliament, thank you, we saw in Parliament some of our young people at a joint select committee in Parliament, remember? And we are used to Kimar. You know, we're like, he's such a smart young man. Look at him looking so handsome, looking at me there. Hi, Kimar. But then, we were in Parliament and we saw a poet. Prasimba, a poet, went into Parliament. Mr. Timon Howard, and he's here with us. Let's give him a hand. Come on, Timon.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. All right. Just making sure we're still lively. As Ms. Weeks would have said, he was able to present to the Joint Select Committee this Monday. And I'm going to transport y'all back there and deliver the same piece I delivered to them in similar manner. I've been following the proceedings from last Monday and then this Monday. I want to say well done to Janine Butcher, Kimar Stewart, Neil Harper, Daniel Weeks, and Dr. Ferdinand Nichols. And I like particularly where Dr. Ferdinand Nichols said that freedom is not the right to do what you want, but it's the power to do what you are. That was a quote that he made. A critical function of freedom of expression, as expressed from a rights-based perspective, is as a moral right, as expressed in the Universal Human Rights. And as a non-moral right, it is a necessity, whether it's to uphold democracy or combat government corruption or incompetence, things of that nature. And a tyrannical state that imprisons descendants acts unjustly, violating moral rights, even if there is no legal right to freedom of expression in its legal system. But we are in a country where we do have that legal right. At this point, I also commend the committee and the government in a technologically developing society. It is important that we develop legislation to suit. But my issue, as you can tell, perhaps at this point in time, lies in the nuances related to freedom of expression, particularly in Section 20. We have an unfortunate history of silencing our revolutionaries or forcing them off the island, and I fear this may further aggravate that problem. When I think of men like George Leming, like Clement Wickham, like Clement Payne, who was a trained unionizer and a highly effective one, who arrived on the island beset by economic problems and hardship in the wake of the Depression, when sugar prices had fallen catastrophically and plantation owners had responded by slashing wages. Payne, influenced by the Black Power ideology of Marcus Garvey and the growing radicalism of Trinidad, delivered a shocking message that the black and poor majority in Barbados should organize themselves into a union and confront the planters and their allies. Not that Payne advocated violence. His motto was, educate, agitate, but do not violate. But his speeches drew big crowds to hear fiery denunciations of injustice and deprivation, much like y'all today. The colonial authorities were predictably hostile to this firebrand orator, and the constabulary warned him that he was under observation each moment of the day and the night. A red widespread labor unrest broke out in Trinidad on June 19, 1937. Payne was eager to tell his audience what the authorities would rather have swept under the carpet. The whole of the Caribbean, he said, was on the move and justice was there for the taking. Despite police attempts to block it, a public meeting voted to form the Barbados Progressive Working Men's Association. And we know at that point the colonial government would have acted and being was charged and found guilty, and he was shipped back over to Trinidad. You could read about that in the Caribbean Big magazine, just look it up. But aside from that, when I think about men like Gabby, an artist like myself, I don't know about you, but if you look at freedom of expression, if I was a man like Jack Deere, I would be shedding tears if a man as mighty as Gabby cast stones at me, at risk of libel, that he had tear. Not tear like the gas that would cause panic, but tear. On a higher level in consciousness, recognizing his duty to keep the calypso scene substantial. And as it stands, I don't see how we can restrict stand and see, because if we do, really, who is represented by that gold and that green, if not we? It must be the foreign developers taking over the beautiful coastline over this country, extending their reach over the beach, enveloping us in happy modern conquest, but a man like Gabby can't peacefully protest that, and he sound Jack. So Jack could get his jacket straight. But I fear if Gabby was to get his gadgets and posting up to free the beach, calling names so free, if it is that he get heat for that day, because I'm getting problems for that day, so-called the name of Jack Deere and such, and all kind of things with label and stuff. If it is he get heat for that, then I wonder what would have happened to he if this thing was passing 82 or even 83. That means we would have had music, beer music missing from his discography during that potential 7 years. And during the financial desert that he would have been in after that 70,000 hit he bought like. As it really is now. I mean, as it stands now, we could see that story being hit hard and far away from being hard hit a social commentary. That's why it's just jam and wine and jokes in this country. Like the laws now got things choked up tight compared to a scene like Calypso and TT where artists like Croco can sing, express dissent and folk playing a bit more freely without being caged. Like a pause on that. Back to Dr. Nichols. He brings some info off the press from 2018, when election time was setting and words was flying high, empty promises full of hot air like balloons rising like the bread in an oven in a bakery. This one he said come from the then leader of opposition, now PM Mia Moore Martin. God I love you. She said, today is about sending a message that the people of Barbados will not allow anybody, neither Labour Party, Barbados Labour Party, Democratic Labour Party, private sector to intimidate it. Not ever again. You have been raised to think for yourselves and you have the right to speak out. And you have the right to speak out without somebody trying to unfair you in this country. So today is equally about reclaiming for Barbadians the right to express themselves in an environment where fear is removed. And if ever the time comes that you give us the confidence to lead you, we too must ensure that we never rule a government to unfair or cause fear in this country. This is the solemn promise of the Barbados. I don't know about you, but if you're intent to keep that promise, the broadest of Section 20 seems unwise, and my challenges lie mainly in the philosophical approach to understanding the fundamentals of the importance and also the infringement of freedom of expression, which, as I said already, is a universal human right, which right now seems to be being made to bow beneath the guillotine, to have a critical piece of its being be removed. I dressed myself in black and white because I said I was prepared, if not extremely perturbed and reluctant to mourn our great loss, and much less prepared to pay the great cost. And I wasn't trying to move them to tears. Mr. Stewart here, he did a good job in asserting that it's not an emotionally guided issue, as my friend would have said earlier as well. It's very hard for emotions to be found criminally damaging. But I would be damned by my own conscience if I say nothing if a man can say something true or false on socials, and because the person impacted by the use of the computer system is intended to be annoyed, inconvenienced, obstructed, embarrassed, humiliated, insulted, or feel anxiety, you could be damned. And the chairperson at that time, he said many times that he was an attorney at law and that there were other lawyers in the room So I was interested, was there issue with filing such cases under the coverage of the Defamation Act and leaving it at that? Establishing policy with clear offences instead of allowing a web of ambiguity to be a trap for the judiciary that he so constantly kick the can to. Really. But I understand that the goal is to bring improvement. And if the way it's currently drafted is highly able to be abused in the palms of powerful players, where you may criticize an individual in some position of authority responsible to the citizens of this country for, in truth, neglecting their duty, they remain not subject to change, but you subject to charge, may be unable to afford to pay the bond to be bound before you are found guilty and fined up to 70,000, or be defined from concerned citizen to criminal in your sentence of a term to 7 years hard time. If you're all lying money. And I would like to say it's important to remember that we are all beings with egos and insecurities. To forget this is to forget humanity. To reject this is to embrace a pointless naivety which can only lead to a pitiful existence in a strange form of arrogant, ignorant madness. And I urge you to make to not have this negligence nor unbelief consume it. And yes, it states that in section 19, subsection 5, that subsection 3 of that same section is covered by the defenses of the Defamation Act. However, that's not the case with section 20. That's largely where it expressed in it. And in the meeting, actually, I was interested to find that the chairperson told me that actually with the passing of this bill, that Article 34 of the Defamation Act would actually be repealed. And I don't know about you, but to me that seemed like jumping out the pan into the fire, because you moving from a max of 2,012 months to 70,000 and 7 years, that don't quite seem fair. So if he said that to ease my concerns, in fact I think he raising them, if anything. But who cares? Only every single concerned citizen expressing their worst fears. I just want to say a few more words before I go aside from the piece. It's very important for us to keep our thinking caps on. When we see things like this, it's very important for us to keep our ears to the ground. Aware of what's going on. And I'm thankful for persons like Marcia who start organizing events like this. And we show the people. Yeah. Let me know that you open that more noise than that, I know. Right? And even in being so comfortable and understanding to reach out to young persons like myself and other people who you may hear afterwards, I will let him be introduced properly. Reaching out to us so that our voices can be heard. And so people can understand that we ain't sleeping on this thing. You're not sleeping on it. Right? And they can't just do whatever they want and feel that they can slide their enemy nose. Not no more. Be eyes open to what they know. Really, actually. Yeah? And why this issue in particular is so jarring to me in terms of accountability with challenging freedom of expression is because we live in a relatively open society where we can, openly discuss things in the democratic state, etc. But we can see other places around the world where that's not the case. And even recently internationally up to 2019, 2020, etc., we've got cases in places like Egypt and other places in the world, Vietnam, Iran, places where you cannot so easily express yourself without fear of imprisonment or even worse, some cases execution. Yeah? And it's very important not to give way to a slippery slope. And as much as the government may say, well, the intention of the bill is to attack these things and that they would not, abuse the bill in such a way, when you pass a law, how many laws you got that was there from however when and we look back at them yet? So when this get passed and another government comes in and another government comes in and another government comes in, who's to say that they down the line will not make use of those exploitation and abuses which you said you're not going to? So you're laying the groundwork for them, even though you're saying it's not, the intention, but you're still allowing it to be a possibility down the line in the future. And so if we're looking down the line and we're looking to, the far sighted and not just near sighted in the short term, long term solutions, we gotta be more careful with what we write into our legislation. I reckon to do. Yeah? So, that is.
Can I ask, just wait right here, come here, Kimar. Come quickly. Is the young lady who spoke in Parliament here? Janine? Where's my young lady from St. John? Right up there, come sweetheart, come. St. George. You come and stand right here with me. Listen, did you hear Russ Simba talking about the Barbadian government? You ready for a Barbadian government? Did you just hear this young man? A product of our education system of Dewey? Did you hear how deep he is? Listen, and I believe that all of these here, you're going to hear from Theory soon. You heard from Kimar, and I'm working on her. You're working on her? But let me tell you something. They're coming. In fact, the government is here. It's them. Do you understand me? And we are making it clear, very, very clear. Change that law, or we will change the government. Change the law, or we will change the government. Simple. Thank you all so much. Pastor Ferdinand.
You know, it's not often I disagree with Marcia, but I got to disagree this time. It don't matter whether you change the bill or not. We're changing the government. No matter. Now, I'm good, all right? I'm a fighter. Don't mind what you see. I can take all of this stuff. That's fine. But let me tell you something. I said it as we came up Broad Street, and I will say it again, with every single bone within my body. Call the elections if you dare. Call it if you dare. I learned a long time ago from my biblical education, it don't take a big axe to cut down a big tree. And the good Lord said to me, do not despise small beginnings. So let me tell you, if you look at this crowd, this is just the tip of the iceberg. But talk to the Titanic when it thought all it had to deal with was the tip of an iceberg. Talk to it. So, Madam Prime Minister, call the election if you dare. I'm so glad to be able to share this microphone with a cadre of young, wonderful people. And to be honest with you, they make me feel young. I was there sitting waiting for when Marcy would have called me too. But she was calling the younger ones. She didn't call the young ones, she called the younger ones. But I want to call on a young man that you've heard before. I'm very proud of these young people. Very proud. Such were some of us. Mr. Theory Gittins, would you put your hands together and welcome this gigantic young man as he comes to share with us this evening.
Wait, singer. Leave it. I would before I get to that point, I want to go to his point. This has been happening to me since I was 13 years old. I was trying to speak in Parliament for 10 I was 13 years old. And I never got a chance. So this ain't nothing new. Let us leave that where it is. This is about the people of Barbados. It's not about an individual. You know what I mean? We already have I gotta learn this word, Pastor. Cadre? I gotta learn that word. A cadre of capable speakers and warriors, political warriors. That he pastor himself, keep going. I wish Janine was here. She's a wonderful speaker. And I can't call everyone name, I'm appreciative to you. But good afternoon to those that do not know me. My name is Thierry Giddings. I'm Thierry Giddings. I am a computer science student at the University of Los Angeles. Now, the great Marcus Garvey said, and I'm going to paraphrase. And they learned this from the mentor Mamba. Most people don't know the Mamba's mentor. When they need help and they don't understand certain things, they go to Mamba. Right? And he taught me this. So he said, if you fear, I'm going to say that again. If you fear that bleeds the same blood as you, you have insulted God. You go and research it. I'm going to say it again. If you fear that bleeds the same blood as you, you have insulted God that has created you. We cannot live in fear. And I feel elated to see the people here today, not as a matter of fear, but a matter of strength. Last week I said, and I have a vision, I have a dream that this whole square fill up. And last week we had persons right here. Now I'm seeing more here. I'm seeing persons in the back. And person has spread here. This movement is growing. And it's growing so rapidly, they can't comprehend how to stop it. It cannot stop. Never. Because at the end of the day, I know each one of you have one thing in common. You don't come up here for yourself. You come up here for your family. And I just want to give yourself an applause for that. We don't come up here for ourselves, we come up here for our family. Because we don't want to see any of our family members prosecuted under any unjust legislation. Granted that, I understand the government is eager to pass this bill, but it cannot pass in the form that it's in. It is too dangerous to be passed in the form that it's in. They can say, well, you know, we are disorderly. And I'm not going to call the minister's name yet. We are disorderly. You know what I'm talking about. This is a disorderly movement, and so on and so on, and that is the case. All you are showing the people of Barbados is that you have acknowledged our strength and the importance of this movement. Because this movement is growing. And it's growing to protect the youth. It is growing to protect our families. It is growing to empower our people. And when I speak about empowerment, I speak about possibility of jobs, not just talking about the jobs. I speak about bills that are passed in the favor of poor people. I don't want that to sink in. Now the minister and P. Moore mentioned that persons must read this bill, or even go to, I'm usually paraphrasing, she can correct me if she wants. Read the bill, or go to a person that can explain to them, given that they're speaking about them. But what we want to see in this country is not the ministers and the political class saying, oh, this movement is trying to mislead people. Well, I don't want to say that. This movement is not misleading people, but to educate the people, we must have constitutional schooling. Not in the schools, but in the communities. That, yes, we have the lawyers and they will go into the courts and they will argue our cases. But when they come to my friend here and they make a mistake, I say, no, that is a matter of vagueness. I understand the legal terms. Because it is not this movement that is misleading people, it is them. And I urge you, my people, educate yourselves. Don't wait on them to tell you what's right or wrong. And on that note, I move on to the youth. Or see the family running my time this up. Now this bill, it needs to be put up. A better bill must be put in place. Personally, God agree with me that having a cybercrime bill, we need it. It is, as a cybercrime person, not a cybercrime person, I'm correct, I'm a computer science person with certain expertise, novice work with persons in cyber security, right? There's something called deepfakes. There's something called phishing. What these things are is that I can be here speaking and someone can take my image and put me in a whole other environment. And I know none of you will realize that it is not me. They can have me cursing, they can have me doing all types of things. That is dangerous. Agreed? Good. That should be in the bill. Banning deepfakes. In Indonesia, the Popular Party used deepfakes to convince the youth to vote for them. And they are backing in government.
1 more minute, Mr. Thierry.
Apologies. So I said that to say this. We must not allow this bill to pass in its form, but we must, in our own right, create a bill. Even if we have to write write the letter, everyone with their views, what should be changed. Because they may have 10 people that spoken in Parliament, but then every one of us gives our point and write to them. Consistently, they must hear us. We cannot fight this battle alone. We say we are not afraid, but strength comes when we move together. Together, we are strong. So when you leave here today, I want you to read the bill. If you don't understand certain things, you'll have Mr. Franklin's number, you have my number, you have Marcy's number, and you can get lawyers to talk to you. And you can read the bill and understand it, and you get your own perspective, and we are going to send them our views on this bill, and what must be changed. And I will share my view. Now I don't agree with the whole putting anxiety. If I say something to you that is insulting, egregious, and so on and so on, it is an offense. Because you feel anxiety, you feel ridicule, etc. Law is not an emotional thing. It is something that is supposed to be just. Justice is not based on the one person's perspective. It has to be equal. Agreed? Good. Given that, I want to see this my views. I want to see in the bill that when they speak about cyberbullying, they speak about the consistency of using defamatory language and threatening language, or utilizing or accessing persons' private information and placing it in the social arenas. That is what should be in the bill. That is concise and not vague. So let me bring this up. I'm going to say this last thing. This movement is growing, and we are not afraid.
They should be afraid.
Tomorrow I'll continue what I have to say, but I just want you to know, for our point for today, talk to us, talk to a lawyer even. When you understand, write to them. We have at least, I would say, 50 plus persons here. I want you to write to them consistently, and then we will get change. Thank you.
Come on, you can do better than that for Siri. Come on. If our young people mean so much for us, let's make them feel that way. Come on, amen? Now, it would be inconsistent for me as a reverend not to quote from the Bible, so I'm not going to disappoint you. But there's a verse or two that talks about opposition. Can I tell you what it is? I'll read it to you, and then I'll tell you where the quote is. Two people are better than one, because together they have a good reward for their hard work. If one falls, the other can help his friend to get up. But how tragic it is for the one who is all alone and he falls. There's no one to help him get up. Again, if two people lie down together, they can keep warm. I owe to that. But how can one person keep warm? Though one person may be overpowered by another, two people can resist one opponent. and a triple braided cord is not easily broken. In other words, together, we win! That's all I can see. I'm just showing you that I have the energy I used to have. Let's welcome Apostle Leroy Scantlebury as he comes to speak to us this afternoon. It's good to see so many people from Barbados, from so many walks of life, from so many age demographics, from so many gender well, they're not gender, sexual, what's the right word? I don't know these days because I'm not sure if it's sex or anyhow, male and female. The people, so good to see us all coming together for one purpose. Can you say amen? Let's welcome Apostle Scantlebury.
Thank you, Reverend Nichols. And first of all, today I want you to please give a rousing round of applause to Marcia Weeks and her team for another amazing march. I have a few minutes just to speak to you today, and I want to be very clear on the points that I want to make to you. A wise man said to me years ago, he said, consciousness is a great ruler, but love is always king. Consciousness is a great ruler, but love is always king. I heard another quote that says that freedom will never be voluntarily granted by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. And for those of you who have been coming week after week at the marches here, we are under one theme, and we want to let the government of Barbados know that we are not afraid of them. That we are resolute in why we are here each Saturday. Now I want you to listen to this carefully. And the young man spoke to it earlier. Do you understand when a person stands on national television and makes a solemn promise to the nation that if you give us the confidence to lead you, the Barbados Labour Party will not do what they're doing where this cybercrime bill is concerned? And the statement was, this is my solemn promise to the people of Barbados. That solemn promise has been broken. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, with my understanding of solemn, meaning that it is characterized by seriousness, characterized by dignity, characterized by integrity, characterized by commitment and faithfulness. Ladies and gentlemen, it means that the Barbados Labour Party administration is in absolutely no position to bring a bill like this to the people of Barbados. They are in absolutely no moral, ethical position to bring a bill like this to the people of Barbados, because you have already broken your solemn promise to the people of Barbados, and you are not fit to bring a bill like this to the people of Barbados, and you are not fit to be the leader of this country, and you are not fit to even speak to the people of Barbados in a way that continues to disrespect us and demoralize us and insult us as a people. I think that we forget so often the statements that were made. During COVID, we heard people are going down to Harrison Point and they're telling the doctors, don't give my mommy this, don't give my father this. What kind of foolishness you're talking about? Some people don't even know how to call the name of the drug. That is what we were subjected to, ladies and gentlemen. And that type of disrespectful, insulting, degrading attitude has been amplified because we many times refuse to stand up when it is time to stand up. We think that being quiet will change the situation, but we have to become louder than we've ever been. We have to become more focused and more driven than we've ever been. And I heard Ralph said earlier, call the election. Because they are aware, ladies and gentlemen, that the season of their leadership of this country has come to an end. It's not coming to an end, it has come to an end already. And all they're doing is trying their best to hold on to the little power that they have. But we have to remember the Lord has been the people's guide for the last 300 years, and the Lord will continue to be our guide for the rest of the years that this nation is on earth. And ladies and gentlemen, those of us who are here today, we have to stand up. We have to be stronger than ever before. We have to let our voices be heard in Parliament, in the corners of the street, on the media. We have to allow the nation to know that there are a group of people that will stand up, and we will not be quiet. We will not be shut out. We will not be pushed aside. We will allow our voices to be heard until change has come in this nation. I have one of my favorite pictures that I love to watch. It's called The Kingdom of Heaven, starring Orlando Bloom. And I love the initiation into his knighthood by his father. And one of the statements that his father said to him in that oath, he said to him, be truthful, be honest and upright, that God may love you. He says, protect the king. But if the king is no more, protect the people. And ladies and gentlemen, the king in Barbados is no more. The leader in Barbados is no more. The BLP in Barbados is no more. And the time has come for us to protect the people. The time has come to protect our children. And you know, ladies and gentlemen, we live in Barbados. We have a different version of the English language. We don't sing when we talk like the Trinidadians. We don't sound like we're always ready for a fight like the Jamaicans. But you know, in a normal conversation in Barbados, when a person is making a point that another person might not agree with, we might suck our teeth and say, man, you're like you're a piece of idiot or something, you know. But then for just a common conversation, for a person to suddenly feel insulted, I feel disrespected, I feel embarrassed, and then all of a sudden I'm in a court being charged with some crime where I have to end up paying $70,000 or spending 7 years in jail. It is utter rubbish. And I want you to understand that this has serious implications right across the board. And a man of God asked me, he said, but how is this going to affect the preaching of the gospel? I said, it doesn't affect the preaching of the gospel because what we preach is God's word. And if they have a problem, they have to pick that up with God. They'll have to take God to court. They'll have to charge God and make God pay $70,000 when you already paid millions in Dubai. But I need you to understand here, in the few moments that I have left, I need you to understand that in this nation, justice, the words justice, righteousness, mercy, forgiveness, faith, those words have been removed. And now we are seeing all types of other things introduced to put fear in the minds of the people. But the word of God reminds me that you shall not fear. In the Bible, those two words, fear not, are recorded 365 times. In the entire Bible, fear not is recorded 365 times, which means every day of the year fear not. And as long as we make a decision not to fear what the enemy is attempting to do, we know that even though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we will fear no evil, because the Lord is with us, and his rod and his staff, they will comfort us. I want to say, and I want to ask you to agree with me today as I close. And this is my first closing. We must understand that Barbados belongs to the Lord. Not to a government. Not to a few rich or wealthy people. Not even to those who they have given access to in Barbados. Barbados belongs to the Lord. And I want you to stand in agreement with me today that this bill will be stuck in the mud. It will go nowhere. And they will be constantly going back and forth until the devil frustrates them. Until God frustrates them and they have to totally give up on this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's keep the fight. Let's remember that as we continue to speak, as we continue to move, God is going to give us the victory. Thank you very much. And God bless you. And God bless Barbados.
Come on, let's hear it for the apostle. You can do better than that. Amen. Just some housekeeping before we close off for the afternoon. Want to remind you, tomorrow evening, 5:30 p.m., the roadside parliament of the loyal opposition will be hosting a parliamentary meeting at the Hastings Rocks tomorrow evening at 5:30. Among our guest speakers will be Attorney-at-Law Lynette Eastman, Trade Unionist Mr. Caswell Franklin, Leader of the Opposition People of Barbados, the Democratic Labour Party, Mr. Ralph Thorne, and the Senator in the Senate of Barbados on the behalf of the Democratic Labour Party, Mr. Ryan Walters. And special appearance. How come there's not me singing? Anyhow, a special appearance by Kid Sykes. Come on, tomorrow evening, 5:30, Sunday, May the 19th. Now, just before we close, I want to invite a former Minister of Government, I believe, for a brief expression, because we want to always respect and honor the time our police department has given to us, and I want us to applaud them, please. The police department, Barbados Police Service, has been great, and we want to respect them and what they've given us, and so we want to really appreciate them. So, Mr. Paul, Mr. James Paul, will you welcome him this afternoon, please?
Thank you very much. I just want to take this opportunity to express thanks to Marcia. You know, leadership comes from the most unexpected places, because very often the places that we look for leadership on issues, they disappoint us, right? And the truth is, I really want to say thank you for when you exposed the matter in relation to the alienation of agricultural land in this country. Too many of us in this country pay lip service to the issue of agriculture. And when that issue was brought to the attention of Marcia, she did not fail. And I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, we sometimes think that the only people that have wisdom are those people that somehow certain people become and say this to them. But we have to look from among us for leadership. And I really want to say, Marcia, to you, Marcia, continue to do the work that you have been doing. Because the only people who can protect our democracy are we ourselves. Okay? And when the Lord, and I want to say this, when the Lord brings up people from among us, don't refuse them and don't turn your back on them, because that is where it will come. I want to say thank you very much for saying. Keep up the good work. Okay? People are listening. Thank you very much.
If it's all right with you, I'm going to take it one step further. And will you all stand? Let's honor this lady. Please, I know she's not one to revel in this, but let's honor her. Marcia, come. Yes, come. I mean, while you all sit in order, it's going to try to take some for a change. Come and stand up here. But I would not call her, I know I got 2 minutes, but I would not call her without calling Dave. Come, Dave. I got 1 minute, 1 hour and 28 minutes. I know time. I was raised in a church with it. We honor these two. Amen. We want to thank you on behalf of the Marcy Week Show for turning out today and encourage you to let's stay strong. We are not afraid. Don't forget tomorrow evening, 5:30, Hastings Rocks. Looking forward to seeing you. Parliamentary side parliament of the loyal opposition. Parliamentary side parliament of the loyal opposition. Hastings Rocks. God bless you. Have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.
I am